Number 10, the Splinter. This episode was so freaking gross. Like, like, I'm not gonna say much about this episode, but we all know that this episode is so freaking. This show is freaking god awful and it's freaking gross. It makes you want to freaking throw up because of SpongeBob Splinter. I'm not gonna, you know, one part I will talk about when SpongeBob ha- have the Splinter when he slipped on a mayonnaise and do the slow motion and do the slow motion like then and get a split and have a Splinter in his like like that's how he get a Splinter. Next thing you know, Patrick trying to help him out, but Patrick and his dumb self make a Splinter worse. Hammering on the hammering the Splinter and put the trash in a freaking on the freaking and put trash from the dumpster on the Splinter and makes it way freaking worse. Ugh. Next thing you know, when Mr. Crab and the next thing you know, Mr. Crab trying to show him what's behind his back, and next thing you know, he revealed his Splinter. And oh my goodness, it's freaking big. Oh, ugh. And of course, in the end, Squidward injured himself with the freaking cash register. I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna say much. I'm not gonna say much. Number 9, Big Sister Sam. This episode is so freaking stupid as hell. What's more stupid, Patrick did not see what her sister Sam done, destroying Squidward's house and of course destroying SpongeBob's house. No wonder Sam was the most least characters in this episode. I'm not gonna talk about the episode. What's the episode about? So let's move on to the list. Number 8. Ugh, oh my god. This episode. One of the most disgusting episodes I ever see in my life. Number 8. Squid Bob Tentacle Pants. Oh my freaking goodness. This episode is so freaking disgusting as hell. What more freaking disgusting was the end of the episode. Oh my freaking goodness. What was the writers thinking? And I heard that the ending was banned from Europe. I think it was banned in Europe. I think so. Oh yeah, it did. It did. But the ending, I'm not gonna. I mean, I'm not gonna say anything about the episode. I mean, it's just freaking disgusting to watch. It's making you want to throw up. I thought the Splinter was disgusting, but this episode take disgustingness to a whole new level. Number 7. Someone's in the kitchen with Sandy. Here's one problem. This episode is a freaking ripoff. What is a ripoff? What is a ripoff of the episode? It was a ripoff of the freaking older episode, Imitation Crabs. Here's why. Imitation Crabs. Plankton was in a mis- was in a robot as Mr. Krabs, of course. But in this episode, someone's in the kitchen with Sandy. Plankton was making a machine out of Sandy's fur. What? Unlike someone's in the kitchen with Sandy, Imitation Crab was a good ass episode. But someone's in the kitchen with Sandy was freaking worse. The worst part about this is Sandy ripping a tire of his fur to take a shower, and what kind of episode was that? Oh my goodness! And next thing you know, Sandy was looking around the town looking for her fur. Next thing you know, there's a group of people making fun of her because she's not wearing her fur. Why, why you have to make fun of her? Do you even guys notice that she has of course, a bikini on? Ugh, forget about that. Anyway, while Sandy was looking for her fur, Plankton just u- used Sandy's fur as a machine and trying to steal Crackberry formula. But got discovered by SpongeBob, of course, and trying to, kind of put on a Krabby Patty, if I'm correct. And every time he's trying to put the bun on a patty to make a Krabby Patty, SpongeBob keeps saying, "Oh, try again. Oh, try again. Oh, try." Ugh! I hate when SpongeBob do that. It's so freaking annoying. Next thing you know, Plankton snaps and just grabbed the Krabby Patty formula and left off until Sandy came along and defeat him with a freaking punch. That's it. That's freaking it. And of course, in the ending, Plankton was in the freaking mustard jar, which burning his eyes, by the way. And the cops came in and arrest Sandy for publicly nudity. Wait. Time out for a sec. Time the hell out. Have y'all people see that the cops were making fun of her as well? And now you're arresting her? Cops, do us all a favor and go stick a barnacle up your ass. Okay? This episode sucks. Number 6. Y'all know about this episode. It was in my SpongeBob Sucks Part 2. And oh my goodness. It's in this list. Number 6. You know the episode Stuck in a Ringer. Oh my freaking goodness. I'm not gonna talk much about this episode. I already talked about this episode, of course, on SpongeBob Sucks Part 2. We all know that SpongeBob was stuck in a ringer, and Patrick make it freaking worse, making I know, right? I mean, Patrick makes some stupid ass decision to make SpongeBob stuck in a ringer using forever glue. Are you serious? Patrick, what kind of freaking person are you? Are you trying to make SpongeBob's life worse? And on second thought, it is. Don't get me started on Squidward's part when SpongeBob squirted on Squidward's eye, and the eye came out and on a Krabby Patty. Oh my goodness! Ugh. Ugh. I was just acting, but it's just freaking disgusting to watch. I mean, it's more disgusting than SquidBob Tentacle Pants ending of the episode. Next you know, SpongeBob got kicked out in the Krusty Krab. Does Mr. Krab even notice that he was stuck in a ringer and trying to... You know what, forget it. Patrick tried to cheer him up with some ice cream. Now, here's one part that I didn't talk about this episode on my SpongeBob Sucks Part 2. That Patrick shouldn't took SpongeBob to the hospital. Why you have to cheer him up with ice cream? Next thing you know, it didn't work because SpongeBob can't swallow an ice cream because of the ringers, because the freaking ringer. Then took him to the carnival, and it makes way worse. Trying to throw a ball to the bottle. Next thing you know, he got black eye. And of course, Patrick came along and finally he won the dart, whatever. And SpongeBob finally snapped on Patrick by saying like, if it wasn't for your forever glue, I would have been stuck in this thing. And Patrick's like, only trying to help, and SpongeBob was trying to say, help! I think you have helped quite enough today. Like I said, it was a good part of the episode. This episode shouldn't have been good with that part. But that part was ruined because the crowd mad at SpongeBob, and one guy saying like, your body is not the only main problem, it's your heart. And next you know, the crowd walk away from SpongeBob. Wait. Let me say this again. Why didn't y'all people let Patrick mad at him? What? It's because you're defending him over some stupid crap he did? Like put Forever Glue on the ringer? Come on! This is complete bullcrap. Crowd, like I said about the cops. Crowd, do us all a favor and put the frickin' coral with sea urchins up your ass and see how you like it when your butthole get itches. Even though fish don't have any butthole, whatever. Next you know, Patrick don't want to talk to SpongeBob, but he can't help himself and just go to SpongeBob's house and see SpongeBob watching a static. Okay. Next thing you know, Patrick started crying, and then his tears that made SpongeBob unstuck the ringer. Hold on a sec. Why didn't he even do this right this now? Why the tears? What? Never mind about that. But they live in the underwater. They shouldn't have been. Forget about that. And of course, you guys remember the ending. I guess crying does solve your problem after all. Again, no it doesn't. No, it freaking doesn't. It doesn't solve your problems. Do you even think that crying solves your problem after you get butt whooped by a belt? What the fuck? What the fuck? That doesn't solve your problems. Fuck. Fuck you, writers. Oh, and fuck you, crowds, who freaking won't let SpongeBob mad at Patrick for doing some stupid things like put Forever Glue on a ringer. Ugh. Number five. Oh my goodness. Number 5 is Pet Sitter Pat. Now, same thing like I said about Hyde and then what happens. I don't even know much about this episode, but I seen the full episode on YouTube. But it's just, oh my goodness. I don't want to explain about this episode. This episode is so freaking stupid. It's just not freaking funny. Patrick trying to take care of Gary while SpongeBob was in his grandma's birthday party, I should say. Patrick trying to make Gary's worst. I mean, he didn't even feed him. He didn't even feed Gary. I mean, he didn't even feed Gary. He just trying to make Gary's life worse. Now, before I have to go on to it, here's a message to the writers of this episode. Writers, if you don't know how to write a good episode, then don't fucking write it. Then don't fucking write it at all. I mean, come on. What kind of episode was that? Next thing you know, one part when Patrick took Gary a bath, it's because Patrick thinks that Gary stinks, but it was Patrick who stink. I mean, his freaking armpit stinks. I mean, it stinks worse than a cow manure, for crying out loud. Even though, whatever. So Gary took a bath and put snail food in a water at bath speed. Next thing you know, when Gary's trying to take a bite from the snail food, which is in the sink, Patrick interrupts and say, Gary, you don't eat the bath, you get in the bath. Ugh! I really want to freaking... I wish Patrick was gonna hit some... Come on. How can you not be so freaking stupid? Next thing you know, snail food was synced in the snail, and Gary finally snaps. And, want to say much about this episode. Worst part about this episode the good thing about this episode when Patrick get hit by a freaking telephone when he threw it through the window, like that's what I like. And the worst thing about this episode, he used a freaking flamethrower as a what the hell is wrong with you, Patrick? Are you trying to kill your best friend's snail? Ugh. How stupid can you be? And of course, the ending. I don't want to talk about the ending. This episode sucks. Big whoop. Number 4. You know what's really worse that is on this list? Let me tell you something. Squidward torture. This episode is just freaking make make a worse Squidward torture. What's the episode in this list on number 4? Tentacles Vision. It's the episode when Squidward trying to get his own TV show. Next thing you know, Patrick and SpongeBob interrupt. Not only that, Sandy, Plankton, and Mr. Krabs and Pearl interrupts too. It's like, why you have to interrupt someone who's have his own show? Why? Next thing you know, Squidward finally snaps, and next thing you know, a lot of people came to his house thinking that it's a house party. Next thing you know, the guy came in and kick out every other people, especially Squidward. Wait. What? Why you have to kick out the person who was living in this house? Oh, I feel bad for Squidward. These people are so freaking stupid. You can't say. I mean, what did Squidward ever do to y'all? Of course, he made some bad things about him, which he deserved. But in this episode, he didn't deserve that. I mean, these people ruined everything. They ruined it. They ruined everything. Ugh. I'm done. I'm done talking about this episode. Number 3. Another Squidward torture. This time, it gets freaking worse. It gets freaking worse. Number 3, whatever the fuck his name, Cephalopod Lodge, whatever it's called. This episode was when Squidward trying to join the club. Next thing you know, SpongeBob and Patrick sneak up on him, and I don't want to talk about this episode, but Squidward got kicked out because of SpongeBob and Patrick. Next thing you know, when SpongeBob and Patrick went back to the guy who was defending the door, saying that wasn't Patrick's fault, wasn't Squidward's fault, it wasn't SpongeBob's fault, and like, whose fault was that? And Patrick's like, oh, maybe it was your fault, and that led Squidward not join the club ever. Now, I forgot why I say about SpongeBob Sucks Part 2. I already talked about that in SpongeBob Sucks Part 2, of course. I forgot to mention that. But one problem is, that is the guy's fault. Didn't you even defend the freaking door when you had it? Come on. But even though Patrick makes a stupid ass point, but really, but if I want, let's move on. Of course, y'all see the ending when SpongeBob and Patrick ask the eel or something as a sock puppet. Next thing you know, Squidward defeats it, and guess what happens? You guessed it! SpongeBob and Patrick interrupts and let Squidward kicked out of the club again. Come on! Ugh. This episode freaking sucks ass. Number 2. Y'all know about this episode. I talk about this episode on my SpongeBob Sucks Part 2. And here it is. Number 2 is A Pal for Gary. Oh my god. This episode is so freaking stupid. And just complete terrible episode I ever see in my whole entire life. I mean, SpongeBob was worried about his pet, thinking that his pet was gonna be very sad without him, but Gary enjoyed his life after when he was gone. Next, you know, he bring the pet, which of course was a freaking monster, but didn't even listen to the ladies what he said and runs out and walk away. And you don't want to get, and you remember this part when SpongeBob when Gary trying to chew on his toy chew on his toy. Next you know, the monster ripped it apart, and SpongeBob, what did SpongeBob do? He didn't even do anything. All he does is eat his food. How do you not see that or hear that? Oh my goodness. Ugh, I want to talk about this episode. Oh yeah. And one part that's one of the most stupidest moments of SpongeBob history was when SpongeBob woke up and see that his snail was eaten by a freaking monster. Do you know what SpongeBob do? He did this. You put Fluffy down right now. And here's my reaction. What? What? How do you not see that? SpongeBob, how do you not see that? That freaking monster is trying to eat your freaking pet. It looks like it. I don't know. But, ugh. Next you know, Gary saved himself and SpongeBob by doing some cowboy stuff he does in the hop. Oh yeah, like in an earlier episode of this. And what did SpongeBob do? He said this. Well, Gary, what do you have to say for yourself? Oh my goodness! SpongeBob, why are you so freaking stupid? I mean, you didn't even see or hear Fluffy tearing down the freaking food toy. Then you didn't even woke up and see that Gary was attacked by a freaking monster, and now you didn't even see that your snail getting eaten by a freaking monster. Come on! This episode make SpongeBob punch him in the face. SpongeBob, do us all a favor. Like I said about the cop and the crowd of people who was mad at you because you yelled at Patrick for making a right decision to yell at Patrick because of his stupid ass self. Do us all a favor. Grab a freaking grab a freaking coral or a freaking rock, whatever. Grab a freaking rock, put sea urchin in it, then squeeze it all up with jellyfish jelly, and turn that some bitch sideways and stick it straight up your sponge candy ass, okay? I just made that up, of course. So, of course, it's number 2, A Pal for Gary. Anyway, let's go to highlights from 20 through 2. Number 20, Waiting. Number 19, All That Glitters. 18, Good Neighbors. 17, Fear of the Krabby Patty. 16, Toy Store of Doom. 15, Hide and Then What Happens. 14, Krusty Dogs. 13, Curious Pockets. 12, Clash of Triton. 11, Keep Bikini Bottom Beautiful. Number 10, The Splinter. Number 9, Big Sister Sam. Number 8, Spongebob Tentacle Pants. I can't get over with the freaking ending. I wish I was in Europe. Not really. Number 17. 7. Number 7. Someone's in the Kitchen with Sandy. Imitation Crab ripoff, by the way. Number 6. Stuck in the Ringer. Number 5. Pet Sitter Pat. It makes you want to freaking punch Patrick in the freaking face. Number 4. Tentacles Vision. Number 3. Supplement Pod Lodge. Number 2. A Pal for Gary. And what is number 1? Number 1. I talk about this in SpongeBob Sucks Part 3. And here it is. Number 1 is none other than that everybody's saying that it's the worst SpongeBob episode of all time. It starts with an A. You guessed it. Atlantis SquarePants. This episode is one of the worst SpongeBob specials and episodes of all time. What's worse about this episode is it was about freaking singing. What was this? High School Musical rejects? Come on. I mean, this episode is a freaking ripoff from, of course, you. And what's worse about this episode? This episode was a ripoff from Willy Wonka's Chocolate Factory, or the Tim Burton's one of Charlie of the Chocolate Factory, of course. It's because most of these characters were of, you guessed it, I don't want to say it. Next thing you know, SpongeBob and the gang went to the Atlantis and meet HLR. Your loyal. No. Is that? I forgot what his name, but is that ugly ass fish? I mean, why not King Neptune? I mean, he's the one from Atlantis. Hey, writers, watch the old episode of the Neptune Spatula. Oh, by the way, that episode was good. Neptune Spatula. But anyway, this episode is one of the worst SpongeBob episodes of all time. Or, y'all say, I mean, most of these people saying that it was a worst episode, so I'll say this, it is the worst episode of SpongeBob ever. Period. I want to get to the part when they were singing about freaking bubbles, about science, about freaking art, about freaking money, about taking over the world. I'm not getting to that crap. I think that's pretty much it. That's it for part 2 of the top 20 worst SpongeBob episodes. Comment all you want, and if y'all seen and comment below if one of the episodes I didn't even mention in this list. Hey, don't worry about that. I will make a second edition of SpongeBob's worst SpongeBob episode, top 20. The second edition. This list is expired by other people who made a SpongeBob episode, worst SpongeBob episodes, like top 30 or top 40 or top 20, top 10. You know, Miss Bros Studio, I forgot what his name, and that guy, Lin guy, whatever his name. These guys inspired me to do this video, so I will give the shout out to both of them. Oh, and stay tuned for more videos, because I will rant about every other stuff I need to talk about. The royal baby, Little B, or whatever. So yeah, give this video a thumbs up. Like I said, comment. Like I said, comment on what show that I didn't mention. I will put those as a second edition of top 20. subscribe for my subscribe to my channel, and of course share this video if you enjoyed it. So yeah. Anyway, I'm out. What? Oh, I'm out. This is Riley D. Peace. Later. Oh, wait. Hold on one sec. I forgot to mention that that I will that I'm still waiting on the questions, for my Ask Riley D video. So please comment comment what question I need to comment on the questions for the video. I'll make a short video about it. So if you want to do this right now, do this right now. Anyway, like I said, this is Riley D. Peace for real.